I'd like to welcome all Rotarians and guests in the room and those who. My name is Steve Sperling, and I'm your club president for this Rotary year. Each month, Rotary highlights a theme of interest to all Rotary clubs throughout the world, and the theme for May is youth service. As you know, President Francesco Areza highlights the theme Unite for Good for the entire Rotary International this year. Mark Drips will help us with the four-way test. Normally we have a banner, but it's missing right now. So this is a test.
Up on the screen, please. The rotary four-way twist. Number one. Is it true? Is it fair or false? Will it build goodwill and friendships? Will it benefit all? And
if you could remain standing for joining me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And you may be seated. Thank you. And let's see, where's Frank coming today? Oh, there he is. Thank you, Frank.
Great.
All right, it's Frank with a microphone, and it is Happy Bucks, or what do we, Happy Thoughts. Whoever was throwing, I know you got several of you gave $1 when you pay anyway. So who's gonna start up today? Come on. I see Randy pulling money out over here. Lee.
I think that's it. I had a meeting up Minneapolis today to a whole bunch of 84-year-old guys from St. Thomas, and I found this person who lived next door to me was going to be here. So what I'll put in, it would cost me $20 for gas.
Excellent. Let me come on over here, Randy.
Yeah, I've got $2 because I'm sitting between two people I haven't seen at Rotary for a while. Welcome, Jeff. Welcome, Christine.
Oh, good to be here.
Beautiful. Way over here. Okay, I see Greg. Doing a little crisscross.
I just want to tell you, I'm really happy to tell you my son, who is a lieutenant colonel in the Air Force Reserves, just got a 6 to 9 month temporary duty as the military attaché to Sweden in the American Embassy.
Oh, wow.
So I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
Excellent. Chris.
Thank you, Frank. As a Minnesota grad, I want to thank everybody that's a Minnesota related person here, and happy Bucks. Second thing is I was happy to see the Wild get as far as they got. They kind of hit a roadblock in Colorado, but next year is another year. So anyway, thank you.
Excellent. Bill.
Okay, as a non-Minnesota grad, I still really love UMR. They're great. So for Lori, Lindsey, and anybody else who did graduate from you in the state, thank you. Yep.
Excellent. Anyone else? There, Christy's waiting. You got her waiting much higher. Okay. Yeah.
All right, well, I'm most thankful for my daughter. She's a third grade teacher at a very difficult school with little to no support from administration. But she has a new job next year, and this mama's heart is gonna be happy. She won't be on lockdown 2 to 3 times a week. So it's challenging. So thank you to all the teachers who've been through it and know what I'm talking about.
I have one more dollar for tickets.
We'll take it.
My daughter Melissa finishes her 5th year of college at Drake University today. She starts 1 year of internships at 8 different cities around the country on Monday. So we're so proud of her.
Excellent. Let's see, I start coming in late. Anyone else? Lynn, oh, you got. And you're here?
Well, recently, probably about 2 weeks ago, our daughter graduated with her MBA from University of Michigan and has a job with General Mills, and as of 2 weeks ago, bought a house in Minneapolis. So she's moving right along. We're proud of her.
Excellent. I think that's it. Unless anybody else stands up and waves your hands. We're actually waving anyway, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Do you want the microphone? I'll let you have it for sports for a short time.
Yeah, thanks. I'll give a little donation for the bike ride coming up
Oh,
and also peace gaming. We are almost done. We have 3 more sessions. The peace game members are Steve, John, and Dave. And it is an attempt by Rotary International to remind us the importance that we're all peace builders. And every day we can do something to advance peace through education, through health, and through technology.
excellent. Hand it back to you, Steve.
All right, thanks everybody for those happy thoughts. Laura Podelski Smith will give our reflection today.
Good afternoon, everyone. I like giving these reflections. I almost gave myself the task of giving an extemporaneous reflection with no plan, but then I came up with the plan. So in the spirit of summer just seeming to burst out onto the scene, I found a reading from, it's called Bless the Imperfect. It's meditations from congregational leaders. And it just really seems to speak to this moment of intense change all around us. The ground shifts, sometimes slowly, sometimes like an earthquake, reminding us that the solidity we often love and seek is always an illusion. The crumbling dust of the desert plains, the moist fertility of farmlands, the eroding coastline of tidal shores are all changing. Committees dissolve or are created. Leaders retire or step away. Ministers come and go. Bylaws are amended. New experiences lead to new truths, which foster evolution. The natural course of life always pushing us forwards, greater understandings of what it means to be human. Everything about our existence points toward change, flexibility, and dynamic recreation. And it's hard because change involves loss. We can hold the losses well while not holding ourselves back. The ground shifts, sometimes slowly, sometimes like an earthquake. Nothing is static.
Thank you, Carrell, for that very timely, inspirational reflection. And Colin is going to introduce our guests today. Lindsey and Laura, you can relax because we'll formally introduce you in a minute. I know Don said he has a long bio for both of you, which really upset me because I'm the timekeeper. So. Larry's back there, right? Larry, you've got 30 seconds to say something about you.
Glad to be here.
Thanks, welcome, Larry. Thank you. And thank you all for coming today. Thanks, Colin. I want to congratulate anyone who is celebrating their birthdays or anniversaries in May. It's listed on the pre-meeting slide. You might not know this, but today actually is Allie's Good's birthday. If she was here, we would have to sing. She would. Once again, I'm going to send around the sign-up sheet for meeting duties now. As a reminder, for next Thursday is a third Thursday, so there will not be a regular formal meeting. It's more of a social informal meeting. So there's no need for the sign-up duties. The following Thursday after that is Memorial Week Thursday, so we're off. And plus we can have a program. So that you get a break. The next regular meeting is June 4th. Yes, John.
Did you make a plug for?
I will do that. I will do that right now. So we announced this last week, but just a reminder that our exchange student, Eva, will be taking a trip at the end of the school year on the East Coast. It's kind of something that a lot of the exchange students really like to do. And as a sort of a fundraiser for that, you're hosting a dinner. It's 5-course dinner, Italian, even though she's Sardinia technically is part of Italy, I guess, but since they think they're their own country. And it'll be, what's the date, John?
May 30th.
May 30th and
6 a.m.
No. 6 p.m.
Jolene and Alan Hanson.
Right, it's at Jolene and Alan Hanson's house, northeast. And
I think there's 6 left.
6 spots left. They're in room for 18, but there's 6 left, so they're going fast. But please consider that if you're interested in a wonderful Italian dinner. The next announcement is that the German program is coming, and it is May 19th. I believe that all the service opportunities within the push serving are taken already. Is that right, Bill? I think, and the needs mainly are just supplying the food, and I think most of those are taken care of too already, but they can always use more. White Oaks Park is our park that we are responsible for cleanup, and that will be May 20th at 6 p.m. We will do that like we do once a month, every month, and the hard work has already been done because that was last month. Want to highlight Taste of the Valley, which is a new thing that we haven't talked about here. It's not a new thing. They've been doing it for a number of years, but this is up in Hudson. We've been asked to highlight that. It is May 21st, and it's a kind of like the taste of the town, but it's the taste of the whole valley from Hudson's Rotary Club sponsoring that. That's their major fundraiser. Yeah. Okay, then I want to say before we get to the program, I wanted to mention that we're continuing to make progress for the bike ride. We are still in need of some volunteers especially for wayfinders. That's their sign-up sheets that are on your tables for wayfinders and SAG drivers. If you signed up last week, on any of those. That didn't get entered, so if you could please sign up again. If you talked to me in person though, Sarah and Lori are taken care of. So you don't have to sign up again. But those didn't get entered properly, so it just didn't record. And reminder, that's May 23rd. The Wayfinder descriptions and the STAG driver descriptions, so they're pretty easy jobs. Wayfinder is you're just guiding riders at important turns or cautioning them for things that are coming up, like a bumpy section. There aren't too many bumpy sections, but there's one or two. And then also that qualifies you, all in the SAG driver too, I'll go into that. That is driving the course in your car, just making sure the riders are safe. If there's any riders that need assistance or maybe they're tired and they just are done, they just need a little help. It's mainly to call for anything that is needed. It's a repair. We have bike mechanics available to take care of repairs and that sort of thing. But so there you get to ride in your car. Both of those volunteer positions, in fact, all of volunteer positions are eligible for free pizza at the Elgin Rest Stop after your shift. So please consider stopping by for that. It's O'Neill's Pizza from Elgin, which has got a very good reputation for good pizza. So please come by, but also want to highlight that after the ride is over, there is an after party at Little Thistle starting, well, it's open from whenever you get there, but the music starts at 1, and I think it's close from 1 to 4 in the afternoon. So another happy reminder related to the fundraising events for this ride, the board wants to share that dues will not have to be raised for the next year. And that being said, please remit your due when the statements come out in a timely fashion. Frank, you know about when the statements will come out, just so that the members will.
Around the 28th of May.
May 28th, that is, the new statements will be sent out. And so Frank's blood pressure doesn't start to go up. When are they due?
June 28th.
June 28th, okay. And if they're not in by then if you are not intending to become a member, we still have to pay for you. That's the whole reason for that.
Blood pressure right now is 120/75.
Oh, pretty good, pretty good. So he's good now. Might go up if he's eating those French fries up. This time, Don Meyer will be introducing our speakers.
Thank you, President Steve. It's my pleasure to introduce our two very special guests today. I've been really looking forward to having them here. And they are Lindsey Hemker, who is the Director of Development, Director of Alumni Relations at UMR. And then Chancellor Lori Carrell is also here, and they are going to be sharing some things they're looking at, part of their vision looking forward here. And I was just telling Chancellor Carrell how excited I am to be part of this community and to see this big bright spot that UMR is in our community. And the more I've gotten to know it, the more I'm excited about it. First time I met Lindsey, you may recall, our club did a rotation day a couple of years ago, maybe, at UMR, got a great tour of the campus, and our tour guide was Lindsey. She did a fabulous job and really piqued my interest, having worked in higher education before. And so we got to talking afterwards. She found out about my fundraising background, and then she proceeded to ask me to join their development committee, which I'm happy to be a part of. As is Bill Wechter's wife, Elaine Case, is also part of that group. And it's so fun to see the growth that this institution is having right now. We're not gonna do any kind of long introductions. I just asked them to share whatever they'd like us to know about themselves. And that will be great. So please help me welcome Lindsey Hemker, Chancellor Lori.
Well, thank you everyone for the warm welcome. It's great to see so many friends and supporters and even my old neighbor, former neighbor. That's great. It's just wonderful to be here. I'm Lori Carrell, and Don asked me to say just a little bit about me. One of the first things you need to know is how much I respect and admire the Rotarian motto right here, service above self. And I think as educators, this is the model for our lives as well. We're working toward the good of all, the common good, and doing that through service and commitment to others. I've been here since 2014. It's been an absolute joyride. You know, before I was here for decades, citizen advocates and people who were putting service above self, including some of you, we're working toward having a University of Minnesota campus in this community. That dream came true, and it is our aspiration every day to reflect the values of this community, to reflect that service mindset, and to be innovators. And we have one real purpose, and that's the development of human potential. The first class that was developed, 57 souls, graduated in 2013. This past fall, we were over 1,100 students served here in Rochester. So these are young people who live and learn and work and play right in the heart of this city. And the last one just moved out of the door this morning. Because our semester is over. That's always sad for me. Their vibrancy, though we do have summer school, but things change, the rhythm changes. Because of this growth, we need to expand our facilities to accommodate additional students. So while we're at over 1,100 now, we're on our way to 2,500. We do have another growing class coming this coming fall. And we do have this vision where we're specialized in preparing students for health careers. And this is very broadly. And there are dire workforce needs in health. As you know, 80% of the counties in Minnesota are short on a variety of kinds of critical healthcare workforce. Counselors and addiction specialists, and even OBGYN and general practitioners. There are great needs. And so we are recruiting young people to meet those needs and developing them. It's quite academically rigorous, and we have students from a wide variety of backgrounds, and they are doing very well. And that's in part because of their striving and also our striving. So those who started the campus decided that we would be distinctive, not only in that academic focus, but also in the research that we do. So our research is focused on student learning and development. We're the only university in the world where that's true for all faculty research. And just yesterday, we had national media attention in an article. I'd be happy to send that along if anyone would like to read that, saying we are the model in the country for student-centered education. In fact, we have 3 principles. Students are at the center, research informs practice, and partners make it possible. And so many of you have been our partners along the way, and we want to thank you for that. So the vision is continued growth because there are dire workforce needs, and the research is supporting student success as we go. So I understand I was invited to talk about specifically the expansion, though I will be fairly short and will invite questions on anything. And Lindsey is going to add to the conversation as well. We want an ever more vibrant, larger campus in downtown Rochester, keeping students in walkable proximity to all their internships and mentors and job shadowing, all of it. So here we go. I'm guessing there's no clicker. All right, here's your beautiful downtown Rochester. We've been very purposeful in creating a different kind of campus. We're in 7 different buildings downtown, mixed use space. We're doing this to keep college here as affordable as possible. So we have long-term leases all over downtown. You may know we turned the DoubleTree Hotel into the Student Life Center. If you didn't make the tour, please come back. It's such a beautiful space. And we're in Discovery Square, and we'll be expanding there, and I'll tell you about that in a moment. But this is our home and yours. So you can go to the next slide. So where we've been, I've described many decades of work before the campus launched. And that first small class, they are across the globe contributing. That first class, trailblazers. Can you imagine going to a college where you didn't even know what you'd be doing the second year and where your classrooms would be? They are unbelievable alumni. Where we're going, currently serving more than 1,100 students, and we're on our way from our bold goal of 1,000. We've surpassed to 1,500 and on to 2,500. And again, we need to expand the facilities, our degree programs, our faculty, everything to get there. So you can go on. Our annual economic impact in 2025 was calculated to be 89.9 million. We want to also reiterate and clarify that through the leases that we pay, property tax is being paid. This is a question that I get, so we'll just clear it up right now, right? We have now been cited as contributing to the vibrancy of downtown. So there are 2 main populations, right? Everybody with the blue tags and the patients, companions that are being served. And now there are over 1,100, 18, 19, 20, and 21-year-olds also living downtown. And the students, while they are students, are not only receiving, they are contributing. Every student is community engaged. It is embedded in our curriculum, and they are working with many nonprofits in this community. And they are also working part-time downtown and with Mayo and work study and all kinds of ways, contributing as volunteers as well. So just think of all of that young community focused on the common good in this community. You can go on. So that future is bright. There is the president of the university, so all 5 campuses, Dr. Rebecca Cunningham, and the Board of Regents have all endorsed our growth and committed to investments there, though it's hard work to get those investments from a variety of directions, but it will take investment to continue to grow this campus. I have said, and I hope that I can keep my word, that we are not going to turn qualified students away. So what that meant for this coming fall, since we were out of space, is that we had to quickly make temporary solutions. And the wonderful people at Experience Rochester worked with us and with the city to make some of the rooms in the Civic Center available for classrooms. And that is just another example of terrific partnership. And so we will have enough space for classrooms. And we have leased some more apartment space and so forth. Those are temporary solutions. But what is the vision for the long-term solution to be implemented in the short term, but for the long-term growth of the campus? I'd like to share that with you. We have a trajectory of growth. First, there are 3 parts to this expansion. First, is a lab classroom expansion in Discovery Square. Second, the heart of the campus, a standalone academic building, and I'll tell you more about that in a moment. And third, the residential and recreational facilities, big need for us right now. Again, always keeping our eyes on affordability for our students. So let's look first at the lab classroom expansion. We already have space in Discovery Square, some classrooms. If you've been in Discovery Square, you know it's beautiful space, light filled. And what's happening in there is spectacular work. You know, Biolabs is coming in, you may have heard the term, and they help startups and they're solving problems in medicine and health, which is just what we want our graduates to do. There are so many unbelievable groups in that building where our students can sit. So imagine a first generation rural Minnesotan student sitting in a first year class at Discovery Square. Can look out into the hallway, if they're not paying attention for the moment, and see someone leaving Nucleus, which is right down the hall from the classroom, like 20 yards, with a container that holds in it an experimental cancer drug. And they can watch that drug go by, and the person walks down Discovery Walk and goes up into the cancer center where someone is waiting who has some hope, right? And so imagine the difference in the experience of that student to be inspired that is possible for me. That is happening right next to me. In fact, I can get an internship there and talk to a mentor there, and that is 20 yards from my first year classroom. So we love being in Discovery Square, and we want to expand our space in Discovery Square, consolidating all of our labs and lab classrooms into that space. So we in the city has, I think most of you know this, has determined that there are city sales tax dollars that were set aside for UMR's expansion. It's been very, very helpful over the years. It is a national model. Everywhere I talk about this, where do you live? Where does a city do that? At Rochester, Minnesota, that's the kind of city. So we are approaching the city about the last of the sales tax dollars to help with this project, as well as DMC, as we'll be tailoring academic programs so that those graduates can work for partners in Discovery Square, including Biolabs. So it's a very industry tailored expansion in Discovery Square. That's the lab classroom. There they are, beautiful labs to come. All right, that'll all be voted on within the next few weeks, and our Board of Regents are the last to vote, and that's June 11th. We can't wait. And we're so pleased to have the mayor, city council president, and DMC executive director joining us for that board meeting to represent Rochester so we can do the lab expansion. Second is the heart of the campus. So as I mentioned, we're distributed across 7 different buildings right now. It's really great for our students to be immersed, and they wish for a space to call their own as well. So keeping all of the space we have already, but creating a University of Minnesota building that is the heart of our campus. And there are going to be 4 parts to this building, 4 types of functions. First, our high-tech classrooms. Everything we do is active learning, lecture pits. And again, our learning methods are based on research about how people learn. And so these high-tech classrooms now will also be AI informed, which is, evolving every day what we mean by that. But we want our students to be ready for the careers they're going to be a part of. And health tech is really going to be a big part of that education going forward. So beautiful active learning, high-tech AI enhanced classrooms. And secondly, we have another kind of space. And this is something we call the academic house. So on most campuses, faculty are divided by discipline. All the biologists are over here. All the philosophers are over there. At UMR, every discipline, every faculty member, no matter their discipline, they are together in something we call an academic house. Joining them are success coaches who support our students. And that's like a life coach, as well as an academic advisor, as well as a career exploration guide. So all of those folks together are out and available to students the faculty and the success coaches in a space we call the academic house. So we need to double our faculty. We're in a hiring spree right now. You wouldn't believe the amazing people who are applying to be faculty at UMR. It's just been so heartwarming. People who love students, who want to be in a student-centered university, who are doing their research on learning and students. They want to be at UMR. So very competitive, but we are expanding dramatically. Our faculty and we have to have somewhere to sit. So temporarily, we have leased the Regis space in 318 Commons. I don't know if you know that space, but kind of offices that people can pop in and out of. But we have leased it, so we have enough space for all those new faculty for fall. But we're going to also have an academic house in this heart of the campus building. And the next slide, the third component is a gathering space. So from the student's perspective, this is the thing that's missing. A place they can go, I used to call it see and be seen, right? But where it's all UMR students, faculty and staff going through there, they're on their way to the classroom or to meet with their success coach or faculty member. And there's a large area where we can gather and socialize. You may think that's fluffy and that that's a waste of money, but it's actually not. So the research shows that the number one variable that predicts whether students will complete on time is sense of belonging. I belong here. And this space will help us generate that. So the fourth type of space in the academic building is based on our research, which is now being highlighted nationally. In fact, the media release is coming out today that we've been named the top innovative college in the United States. So I gave you a little heads up on that, but you'll be seeing that. The whole of the University of Minnesota is interested in our evidence-based practice and the way that we set things up here in Rochester because we we were starting from scratch, right? That was the gift. So the whole of the University of Minnesota will be served by this institute where we will solve problems in higher ed. More students succeeding, more affordable. Those are our top two problems. We're going to solve them. The way that people learn is also embedded in there, right? So doing research that informs the solution of problems within higher ed to create a future state in which more students can be educated to solve the problems that are emerging at this time and will emerge in the future. So we're thrilled about this. The new strategic plan for the university came out, and we are also leading this effort for the university. And that is the result of decades of work by citizen advocates and a decision to focus our research in this way. So this National Institute will also be part of the campus building. So there were 4 parts. See if you can remember what they are. Lose you in there. Okay, first is the lab classroom expansion. Then there's this heart of the campus, University of Minnesota building, and it includes academic house for faculty and success coaches. The gathering space, thank you. The classrooms. And a national research center meant to disseminate great ideas for how to improve higher education. And that's for the whole University of Minnesota. All right, those are the 4 parts.
And the memory care.
All right, finally, and I'll be quick here so we get time for Lindsey and for questions. The residence and recreation, obviously, we need places for students to sleep. This will hold about 600 beds. Remembering that's not 600 apartments, but beds. And will be built on university-owned land adjacent to Soldiers Field. Will be a P3 and will include recreation. We need that. You know, we used to partner with the Y. Whoops. You know, things changed. That was hard. We pivoted, but we do need a gymnasium. And our intramurals and club sports are expanding quite a bit. This is a really important part of our students' lives. So you can go to the next picture. We're working to build with sustainable building practices. And so we're trying to demonstrate that in these photos and show a picture of complete well-being, including the facilities themselves. So 3 parts: lab classroom expansion coming soon, RFP for academic building within the month. Yes. And I just, yeah, we're moving. And then residence and recreation RFP before the end of the year. Expansion is coming soon. We're seeking investment for that. But overall, there are going to be more students. And the number one reason that students leave UMR is financial, right? And this matters to us. We're over 2/3 underrepresented students, and we want to support them. There's nothing that keeps an educator up more at night than thinking that human potential has been squandered. We can't let that happen, right? So we're all working together on that, and Lindsey's a part of that team. We're going to come on up and talk a little bit, and then we'll take questions if you have them.
Yeah, thank you, Chancellor. You can go on to the next slide. And I would be remiss if I did put in a plug that all of those spaces have the opportunity to be named through philanthropy. So if you are thinking about having the Rotary of Rochester on a building, please give me a call. Well, thank you so much, Don, and Rotary of Rochester here for having us. This is a wonderful, wonderful day, a great group. I've met many of you. A lot of you here are already advocates, already supporters. I know that you wear UMR lapel pens and all of these things, like Dr. Patel, with pride. So we're so, so grateful for that. I'm here and I have some materials on your table. The first is the kettle. That has a lot of information about our alumni that have graduated from the University of Minnesota, Rochester, and some of the opportunities that have happened for our students because they came to the Rochester campus, and there was community involvement, and so their pathway has been really successful. So some material for you guys to take home and read with your coffee tomorrow morning. I'm also here, there's another material on your table to talk about investing in the future of healthcare. I saw this up here that says service above self, and I can almost guarantee that all of our students are coming to the Rochester campus to put service above themselves, to work in healthcare, and to think about human beings above themselves. And I'm so proud to work at UMR because of that. I'll have you switch. Here's a slide. Chancellor Carrell talked about the need. Our students, the greatest need for our students, they have a financial need. And that's just point blank. There is about 47% of our students are Pell eligible. So they're coming in already with support from state and government. However, that does not support the rest of their higher educational needs. The number one reason, as you can see, that students do not come back their sophomore year is because of financial need. It's because they don't have scholarship support at the higher ed institution that they are at. About 75% of our undergraduates who receive a scholarship will graduate in 4 years or less. And I can proudly say that almost, I would say 50% of our students actually graduate in about 3 years or less. So that is wonderful. Like Chancellor Carrell said, we are being innovative in the higher education field, and I think that's remarkable. We don't want our students to be going to school for 6 years, especially all health sciences students, a lot of them going to be physicians, so they will be in higher education for many, many years. So we want to be innovative in that space. And to do that, takes some financial burdens off when there's a scholarship that is being represented with the student. And the last thing I wanted to mention on this side is 65% of our students are underrepresented And that is BIPOC community, first generation student. I was a first generation student. And so it's very, very impactful and meaningful to have that scholarship as the first student in your family. And low income. And like I mentioned, about 47% of that is Pell eligible. So I know that UMR and Rotary have a shared goal, and that's health and humanitarian efforts. All of our students are going to be physicians or work in the healthcare field, and we really want to eradicate things like I know that in Rotary is polio. So research is very, very important at UMR. We have a lot of our students doing research. And so sometimes we have our students coming in, they want to be a doctor or a PA, and then they find research and they can really figure out how they can research disease prevention and treatment. And that really gets them excited. And so those are the opportunities that our students are looking for. So I wanted to talk to you today about what a scholarship would entail at the University of Minnesota, Rochester. This would be a named endowed scholarship and would encourage leaving a lasting legacy of an endowed scholarship at UMR. And that could be as a group or as an individual yourself. Again, the greatest need right now, besides space, which we're working on, is scholarships. We have about 170 students graduating on Saturday, I think it is. Okay, but to put into perspective, we have 412 committed paid incoming freshmen in 3 months. So that number is, has almost tripled. This February, we had a scholarship interview process where 900 students wanted to come. We narrowed it down to about 150, and we were able to give everyone a scholarship. But think of getting to that 2,500 students and 900 wanted to come, right? But there was a financial need that may have been a barrier. So we have a challenge here, and that is we do not have enough scholarships to go around. And so that is why I'm here today is to kind of talk about what the scholarship could entail and what student access could look like. So about 51 hours a week, a student would have to work to pay for their education. Being in the health sciences field, you are going to class all week. You're doing an internship, right? You're studying all week as an undergrad. And so there's not a lot of opportunity to have a job as you're going to college. So scholarships really help with that financial need. There's also naming opportunities that are available for this endowed scholarship. And I do want to mention there's an opportunity for, like I said, the whole group to do one. So PEO and AAUW have started an endowed scholarship at the University of Minnesota, Rochester, and have met their scholarship recipients each year at the scholarship celebration in October. It has been such a wonderful, wonderful time to get to know students in the community who are also, like I said, going to do service above themselves at some point. And so that's a really exciting time to get to know your scholarship recipient. They also come they could come to the Rotary Club of Rochester and talk about themselves and give updates each year for their scholarship. So the minimum endowment, and all of this is on the piece of paper as well, but is $50,000 to establish an endowed undergraduate scholarship. We have flexible giving. It could be a one-time lump sum gift for an endowed scholarship or pledged over 5 years if the Rotary Club of Rochester would like to consider that. There's a growing impact. About 4.5% of that investment goes back to the student each year. So you're looking at about 1 to 2 students supported for a $50,000 scholarship, or about 3 to 4 with a $100,000 scholarship. So there's potential to make a huge impact in a lot of students' lives. And those students, many from Minnesota already, are going to go out into the world, do research on disease prevention and treatment, and are involved in their community and are willing to sacrifice themselves for service. And so that is kind of what I wanted to talk about today. I want to ask you guys to all consider coming together and making a gift through an endowed scholarship, if that is something you're interested in. But just know it is making an impact in many students' lives, and there's a great need here at the University of Minnesota Rochester. So with that, I do want to leave time, because we have about 8 minutes for questions. It could be about expansion, it could be about scholarship, but anything that you would like to ask, go ahead, Don.
Lindsay, do you, in addition to the endowed scholarship, do you also have annually funded scholarships where the donor just funds the scholarship each year?
Yeah, thank you so much, Don, for the question. So the question was, is there another option or annual funded scholarships? We do take demand scholarships, so the opportunity to give directly to the UMR scholarship and support, and that fund grows over time as well. And you are also able to give to whatever scholarship you set up in perpetuity.
Couple questions.
Mhm.
Is the Discovery Square the Galleria, or is that the separate building sort of over here?
Yes, it's the Discovery Square is a separate building. There are two buildings. So it's part of the Innovation District. Right now, there are two buildings, a third is planned and more. And there are many of these businesses that are research-based and exploring new health solutions. Nucleus and Biolabs and Philips and Epic is in there, advanced diagnostics, and then we have classrooms sprinkled all through there as well. So that's Discovery Square 1 and 2.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yes.
They're two, then now they're side by side, kind of.
That's right. Come on down, we'll give you another tour. We'd love to do that. So Student Life Center, University Square, which is the top of the Galleria, right? 318 Commons that has classrooms and offices and students live there. And then 1 Discovery and 2 Discovery, and a little bit of the paint building as well as residents at Discovery Square.
When I came, I think we came to, I'm sure what I call the Galleria building, this is several years ago. And that was rotation. Brilliant. You've given me another idea for a Rotary meeting.
Yeah,
All right, I'll be in touch.
Yeah,
Cool.
we'd love that. Other questions? Yes.
Pleasure to see you here. Thanks for calling. My computer hasn't worked for the last 2 or 3 days, so I didn't know the agenda. And we're glad to see you.
You as well.
From your presentation, you mentioned introducing artificial intelligence into one of the classes. Did you elaborate on?
Yes, what I mentioned is having AI enhanced active learning classrooms. And so we're just about to put that RFP out. And by the time we're actually designing and building the building, it'll mean something different than it does today, right? At present, we're contemplating AI as academic tutor. We do something called the flipped classroom, where students prepare on a new concept before they come to class. Then when they get to class, they have an inductive problem that they are working to solve in groups using what they tried to learn before they came to class. That AI tutor could help with that prep for class piece of it. In addition, with our success coaches, part of their responsibility is a career exploration guide and the refinement that can be done even by something like Gemini right now. I can prepare the student for the meeting with the success coach. I have questions about these 3 kinds of careers based on what I did in this health career exploration guide within Gemini. Can you help me with that? So in the context of authentic relationship with faculty and success coaches, there can be supports for AI, and the classrooms are going to work to make the most of those. And then we'll be researching how they work. And of course, there are guardrails for integrity. And I could talk another hour about all of that, but we only have a few minutes, so I'll go on for another question, because I think I saw a hand over here. Yes.
Yes, just if things went according to plan, or maybe even optimistically, when would that building be completed?
Yes, so, the lab expansion part of it is fall 27. The academic building at its earliest is fall 28, but we're really pressured at the moment. But that has been the goal. It may be fall 29, and fall 29 also for the residents and recreation. So all of it complete before 2030, but that is contingent on investment. And that takes partners at the state, at the broader University of Minnesota, here in the city, and through philanthropy. So that's what we're really working on, the investment. But in the meantime, we're designing everything, and issuing the RFPs and moving forward. Again, so far, everything is leased long-term, like Discovery Square, 30-year leases. It's not like we're leasing by the month or something, right? Or we're here to stay. But the residence and recreation will be a P3. Those can usually move faster. It's a public-private partnership. So a developer who does student housing and recreation will be selected, and they will build, own, and operate the building while we do the mission part within the building. Yes.
Have you considered or explored a partnership with the city for some of the recreational space? Because that's actually a pretty big topic in the city.
Mm-hmm. We meet with the city once a week, and I think we could use another meeting every week. There's so many possibilities, and they've just been wonderful partners.
I'm assuming an AI mentor means a computer. There, you said there was an AI mentor. Is that a person or a computer or some form of technology?
It's some form of technology.
Oh, that's right.
I'm looking at my 2-minute marker up there, so that'll be my answer, but happy to talk more about it, Colin. There are amazing things happening. Digital twins, though it seems like the person on a screen, and the body of knowledge that is within that digital twin is the body of knowledge that the real person has produced. It's not just grabbing things off the internet. We are on the verge of unbelievable kinds of contributions and discovery that need research guardrails. Yes, sir.
Thanks for the excellent presentation. Rotary International is coming to Minneapolis 2028. And it would be great to have a plan so we can showcase to the business leaders there on a day before the.
Give us a day, we'll hold it in reserve.
That's great.
Well, yeah, oh, no, I was just gonna say, before this bell rings, we should wrap it up. So I was told to stay on time or else.
I told you that.
Yeah, no, but I just wanted to thank you all so much, and on behalf of Chancellor Carrell and I, thank you so much for investing in the future of our healthcare, investing in our students, being such great advocates for University of Minnesota Rochester for many, many decades. So thank you so much.
Thank Lindsey, Hemker, and Dr. Carrell for today's presentation. And thanks for being here today. We will be making a donation in your names to the Legacy Project. Before we thank our volunteers for today's program, I would like to offer special thanks once again to anyone who's volunteered for the bike ride. Please consider greeting others as well. And thanks to all participating members and the volunteers who signed up to do the duties for today's meeting. Sergeant at Arms John Woodruff, meal facilitator Helen Hinton, four-way test Mark Drips, reflection Laurel Podolsky Smith, Frank for Happy Bucks, Colin for introductions as well as Don, and Dave, Joseph for AV and tech support, as well as our speakers, Laura Carrell and Lindsey Hemker. I'd like to remind all Rotarians to go forth into the world and unite for good. We are Carrell.